Hi, everyone. Welcome to this channel. And today, we're going to learn about tsunami. In this video, we will learn what is a tsunami, what are its causes, and what are the effects of a tsunami. So let's start. First of all, let's understand what is a tsunami. A tsunami is a series of ocean waves that have a very long wavelength and are usually caused by some kind of disturbance that occurs in the ocean. The word tsunami literally means harbor wave because it was first observed near the coast of Japan. Tsunamis are sometimes called tidal waves, but they have nothing to do with tides. They also have nothing to do with the moon or the sun. Now let's understand how a tsunami is formed. In order to form a tsunami, there must be a displacement of an enormous amount of water. This can be caused by several factors. Most tsunamis are caused by earthquakes that occur under the ocean. When these earthquakes happen, the energy is released suddenly and the seafloor is displaced, which forms a tsunami. Earthquakes that cause tsunamis are called 1 megathrust earthquakes. These earthquakes happen when two tectonic plates that are stuck suddenly slip past each other. Some of the biggest and most powerful earthquakes that have ever occurred were megathrust earthquakes. For example, the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and the 2011 Tohoku earthquake. Both were megathrust earthquakes, and both caused devastating tsunamis. Volcanic eruptions can also form tsunamis. When a volcanic eruption happens underwater or when it happens on an island, it can displace a large amount of water and form a tsunami. Landslides and underwater rockfalls can also form tsunamis if they are big enough. But tsunamis caused by landslides are rare. Sometimes glaciers breaking off from ice sheets or ice shelves into the water can also cause tsunamis. This happens because the weight of the glacier causes the sea level to rise, which displaces the water. When the glacier falls into the water is displaced once again. This can form a deadly tsunami wave. So now you know how a tsunami is formed. Now let's understand how a tsunami affects the coastal areas. As we know, tsunamis have very long wavelengths, which means that the distance between two successive crests or troughs of a wave is very large. If the wavelength is more than 300 kilometers, then it is called a tsunami. Because of their long wavelengths, tsunami waves move very fast. The speed of a tsunami depends upon the depth of the water through which it is passing. In deep water, tsunami waves can travel at the speed of jet planes, which is around 800 kilometers per hour. When a tsunami approaches the shore, its speed decreases and its height increases. As a result, the wave slows down to just 30 kilometers per hour as it hits the land. But the destructive power of a tsunami does not decrease proportionally. Instead, it increases dramatically. A tsunami wave can be only a few feet tall in the open ocean, but the same wave can be more than 100 feet tall when it reaches the shore. Tsunami waves hit the coast with tremendous force and can inundate large areas of land. They can also cause massive erosion to the coastline. They carry huge amounts of debris and can damage or destroy everything in their path. Now let's understand what are the effects of a tsunami. First of all, let's understand what is a tsunami inundation. Tsunami inundation is the flooding of land by tsunami water. It is one of the most dangerous aspects of a tsunami because it can cause widespread damage to property and infrastructure and can also lead to loss of life. The extent of inundation depends on the height of the tsunami wave and the topography of the coastline. In general, the higher the wave and the flatter the coastline, the further inland the water will flow. The inundation zone is the area that is likely to be flooded by a tsunami. Local authorities may use maps to show the inundation zone and to advise people who live in the area on the risk they face. People who live in the inundation zone should be prepared to evacuate quickly if a tsunami warning is issued. Another effect of a tsunami is coastal erosion. Tsunamis can cause significant erosion to the coastline as they hit the shore with tremendous force and can wash away large amounts of sand and soil. This can cause damage to coastal properties and infrastructure such as roads and buildings. It can also change the shape of the coastline and create new inlets and other coastal features. Another effect of a tsunami is debris flow. Tsunami waves carry huge amounts of debris with them as they hit the coast. This debris can include sand, soil, rocks, vehicles, and buildings. The debris flow can cause damage to property and infrastructure and can also pose a risk to human health and safety. The next effect of a tsunami is damage to property and infrastructure. Tsunami waves can cause significant damage to property and infrastructure as they hit the shore with tremendous force and can wash away buildings, roads, and bridges. This can have a devastating impact on the local economy and can take years to recover from. Then comes the most important effect of a tsunami, which is loss of life. Tsunami waves can cause significant loss of life as they hit the shore and can cause buildings to collapse and drown people. This can have a devastating impact on families and communities and can cause long-lasting psychological trauma. Now let's understand what are some ways to prevent damage due to tsunami. The first thing is tsunami warning systems. Tsunami warning systems are in place in many coastal areas to give people advance notice of an impending tsunami. The system consists of a network of sensors that detect tsunami waves as they approach the coast and a series of sirens, loudspeakers, and other devices that emit a warning sound. When a tsunami is detected, people in the at-risk area are given time to evacuate to higher ground or safer areas. Another way to prevent damage due to tsunami is to construct seawalls and breakwaters. Seawalls are structures built along the coast to protect against erosion and flooding. Breakwaters are structures built offshore to protect boats and coastal structures from the effects of waves. These structures can help to mitigate the damage caused by tsunami waves by reducing erosion and protecting buildings and other infrastructure. Then we have managed retreat. Managed retreat is a strategy that involves giving up some coastal areas to the sea in order to reduce the risk of future erosion and flooding. This can involve removing buildings and other structures from the at-risk area and allowing the sea to reclaim the land. And the last method is nature-based solutions. Nature-based solutions are strategies that use natural features such as dunes, marshes, and mangroves to protect against coastal erosion and flooding. These features can help to absorb wave energy and reduce the impact of tsunami waves on the coastline. These are some methods that can be used to prevent damage due to tsunami. However, it is important to note that no single method is foolproof and a combination of methods is often required to effectively mitigate the risks associated with tsunami. So now you know what is a tsunami, how it is formed, and what are its effects. You also know what are the ways to prevent damage due to tsunami. Tsunamis are a natural disaster that can cause widespread destruction and loss of life. It is important to be aware of the risks associated with tsunamis and to take steps to mitigate these risks. This includes understanding the warning signs of a tsunami, evacuating to higher ground if necessary, and following the guidance of local authorities. I hope you have learned something new and I wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.